Be quiet, Kenny. Let me go on YouTube. YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. Let me go to YouTube. Let me see. I want to go. I'm gonna see how do I do this. Get out the video, dude. They can see. I'm trying to see something. Trying to learn how to do this on YouTube. Let me get this going. YouTube. YouTube. I want to get this. I want to get this on YouTube. I'm trying to get this on YouTube. I know, but I'm trying to make sure that I get everything right. Okay, so I'm trying to share. I'm trying to see how to go about some stuff because I'll never hardly broadcast on YouTube. But let me break this down about the misconceptions of being black as it relates to jurisdictions. So let me see what I can do on YouTube. I'm trying to use banner, bribe, bubble chat, color band, lock, logo, customize the logo. Oh, they got all of this. Okay. Let me say music in the background. Oh, I never really looked at that. So I'm trying to get some stuff on here. We're gonna talk about some things. Um, we're gonna talk about some things. It's 2 minutes. I'm trying to see how could I post this video in other spots. Um, See if I can broadcast and upload it to other areas. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Stop, man. Get out the video. God, dude. You can see yourself. I'm trying to see something. Kenny, get out the video. Back up, boy. Comments. Trying to learn how to do this on StreamYard where I can do multiple things. I'm trying to see how can I do this. Let me see. Let me go to my Facebook and let me see how I can do this. I want to work this. I want to get this on YouTube. Let me see if I can upload this. I'm trying to get this on YouTube. I know. I'm trying to learn how to use this. Alright. Let me talk about this as it relates to. I haven't been using YouTube. I'm trying to see how this works. See, let me see if I can go to Instagram. I don't know how to on YouTube. I'm trying to get it done. So, okay, family, let's get started. I'm trying to get some people to come in and trying to get started, just trying to give a few minutes. But let's talk about this misconception. A lot of us believe that it's all about being black. Um, and I'm going to show you that being black is not the only jurisdictional issue coming into the door as it relates to creditor and debtor relationship, being property as it relates to instrumentalities. So let's get into this as it relates to the content of the jurisdiction. So let me bring this stuff forth. So I'm gonna share the screen so I can break it down for y'all. Let me give you some sauce on this. Coming into YouTube, and we're gonna talk about a few things, right? So on the contract, right? We got to understand this, right? Um, we got to understand the jurisdiction, okay, as it relates to everything that's going on. Um, it's all on the contract. So this is what's happened. This is how the birth of the strongman came in. It says the migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation not exceeding $10,000 for each person. $10 exceeding. Yeah, no. I needed to go to the store, but that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna just call him. All right, okay, bye. So I want y'all to understand this was the creation of your straw man. So we talking about a tax. I told you a tax a long time ago is a servitude. A tax is considered a servitude. So a tax is a obligation. It's a servitude. Let's go to servitude. What is it? A servitude definition. What is a servitude as it relates to meaning and definition? The state of being a slave or completely subject to someone more powerful. See? Completely subject to someone more powerful. This is servitude. So let's go to a tax is a servitude definition. We're gonna go here. Definition. A condition in which one lacks liberty, especially to determine one's course of action or way of life. A right by which someone owned by one person is subject to a specified use or enjoyment of another, such as a piece of land. They're giving you an example. A right by which someone owned by one person is subjected to a specific use or enjoyment by another. So, right, Social Security number, EIN numbers, all of these different instrumentalities are servitudes. These are properties. These are dealing with intellectual property rights. Let's go to intellectual property rights. So everybody gonna tell you it's all about just being black. No, it ain't. White people are under the same condition. Let me say this again. It doesn't matter if you black or if you're white. If you call yourself black or white, it doesn't matter as it relates to this. These are this forms of distraction. Don't matter about being black or white, right? This is why nationality is very important if you understand the Constitution, because the Constitution sets you up in such a way, right? Because this is where the straw man is important. But then let's go over here to the laws of nations. We're gonna talk about the laws of nations, family. Under 8, we're gonna talk about the offenses against the laws of nations. So, the importance of having a nationality is to tie you back into a nation, right? This is why nationality is so important, right? But nationality is not the only thing that's you dealing with as it relates to property rights. Y'all keep listening to people who do not litigate, who do not understand the construction of this process and how the law is operating within the United States. The United States is a civil institution. They tell you there's only one form of action, and it shall be known as the civil action. All you got to do is go to, right, civil rules. I'm not going to go through all of that. All you got to do is go to your state and federal civil rules and look up at the very beginning. They tell you the purpose and construction. They say action. They let you know there's only one form of action, right? But I'm coming to tell you, when you're dealing with everybody, the first standard of process is give everyone notice. Determination of law. They must understand who you are, and your determined under determination of law. You must tell them the law associated with the property. The law that's associated with the property. Y'all don't really want to get into these different forms of laws. I talked about the law of allegiance. Let me see if the law of allegiance. We talked about badges and incidents of slavery, right? So, what is a badge and incidents of slavery as it relates to enforcement of a contract, right? Enforcement of a contract as it relates to an obligation and a duty, right? They have you in the contract. They only, like, let's say, child support contract. A lot of them in some states, they have what they call a disestablishment of paternity, right? So under state law, what you got to understand, they giving you these what they call these instrumentalities, which is paperwork that's associated with that's they consider that's property. Like the social security card is property. A lot of y'all don't understand. Like, I got the birth certificate, so you believe that you can now change the laws associated with that property, right? Because they tell you what they get. They already have it already written out. The laws are already set in stone. Now they tell you, now you go ahead and fill it out, and now you try to remove the property law attached to that property. And really, what you should have did was never attach yourself to that property so that you won't have to be subjected to the jurisdiction. So let's go to allegiance law. Legal definition. Allegiance is a citizen's obligation of fidelity. So if you're a citizen or you a resident, difference between a citizen and a resident is that a resident is property. A citizen has a obligation of duty, right? An obligation of fidelity and obedience to the governed or sovereign in return for a benefit of the protection of the state. So the state that you live in is detriment to your own existence because you supposed to have rights that protect you, right? And protect you, right, from harm from other people in society if they do harm. But they got all of these policies to invoke on you, like driving without a seatbelt and all of this stuff. These are victimless crimes to invoke on you and then put you into prison because you are under contract and they saying that you're interference with commerce. These are all interference with commerce charges as it relates to you being a debtor or a creditor. This is why a lot of people went into their secure party process because a lot of us are misidentifying all the elements associated with the jurisdiction. So a lot of people are going to tell you that it's all about being black. It's about being a Moor, but being a Moor is not the only thing that's necessary because we're dealing in other jurisdictional issues as it relates to one of them is the property law. Property law is one of the issues that you have to overcome. Instrumentality doctrine is what you have to overcome. Substance over form doctrine is what you have to overcome. And it's all attached to property. You are co-mingling property. The law follow the property. I keep trying to tell y'all this. And y'all keep listening to people and y'all don't understand the stuff that's going on. So the hidden agenda is to keep you confused about what status it is to be as it relates to nationality. So they only deal in offenses, right, as it relates to this, offenses against the laws of nation. This is why nationality is so important. Because now, if you proclaim your nationality, right, they supposed to have laws that protect you, right? Offenses against the law. It says to define and punish piracy, felonies committed on the high seas, and offenses against the laws of nations. So when people start talking to you about nationality, people have to really be a constitutionalist to really understand and preserve the integrity of what they're trying to teach you or tell you and break down this constitution layer by layer so that you can understand really what's going on by studying this instrument. What I talk about is things have to meet constitutional muster. What you have to understand is the laws associated with the United States as a uh, as a civil rights organization dealing in civility as it relates to your civil rights. And you have to understand what civil rights is. So let's go to civil rights definition. Let's go to civil rights definition. The rights of citizens to politically and social freedom and equality. Let's go here. The non-political rights of a citizen. I want you to take it. It says the non-political rights of a citizen. Non-political. What does that mean? Non-political rights. The rights of personal liberty guaranteed to U.S. citizens by the 13th Amendment and the 14th Amendment to the Constitution by acts of Congress. What does that mean, family? What does that mean? What do that mean? This is why I talk about contract law. So your civil rights come in the form of contract. That's the real unalienable right you have, your ability to contract. If you know how to make contracts, you have a right. But here's the problem. You, when you create other institutions, right, within the United States, U.S. citizens are corporations. No matter if you call yourself black or white. If you are touching what they call an instrumentality of the United States, whatever you are subject to the laws associated with that instrumentality. And an instrumentality is a damn piece of paper. It's an instrument that is created through some form of creation based upon some kind of contractual obligation associated with it. That's it. That's all. And that's all I'm trying to get y'all to understand. A lot of people don't understand this stuff, so they don't know how to litigate. What about a notice of foreign determination of law? Okay. I see that question. Let me stop sharing the screen. Okay. So here's the problem. Most of y'all, before you go to court, due process require you to give notice, right, of your status and who you are. Before you can appear, your appearance, the court makes a determination or you waive such right to bring that up on appeal or other issues regarding the court matter. If I come in there and I say I'm a Moor and I say this property right is associated with the law, right? Then I have to show them the law. What is the law? That's going to be the contract. So a lot of y'all, right, when you go to court, let's say child support court, let's say you and your baby mama, y'all got a contract. Y'all say y'all more, y'all consider yourself as a nation. You establish an institution on the record, right? How do you establish an institution? You can file it in the county. You can put it in the public newspaper to establish for an establishment because now it becomes a public record. So now you can say that you are conjoined, you and your baby mama is conjoined in matrimony, establishing this institution in which all rights are reserved in accordance to this. There has to be a public announcement. And then you have to reference where they can go find the law. Right? So one of the things I was doing, Chief Vanderlei, I was putting your laws in a book. But I found some stuff about that. So I said, no, we ain't going to put it in the book no more. But it's a way to do everything. I got all the stuff that you can do. So once a determination of foreign law has been established, the judge has to determine the law associated with that, if he got jurisdiction or not. Do we have original jurisdiction? So under your fundamental rights, your civil rights, you have a right to discern what kind of contract you want to enter into. You don't have to join their applied by their rules. You can create your own. because this is something that child, they didn't create the child. So they don't have no rights to tell you how to go about dealing with the child. The problem is we keep commingling. And this is why I'm going to be doing the master class to show you how to deal with all of this, because it's not just nationality that you're dealing with. It's not just calling yourself black and white. There's other jurisdictional issues that you have to collaterally attack to remove yourself and dismantle the jurisdiction altogether. This is why a lot of us, we're touching that money. That money is property. You don't own that money. You don't own that car, right? You didn't make the car. So you are driving and have the right of use of somebody else's property. And you didn't put certain things down where people can reference to the law through contracts and show how certain things, and that's why they call negotiable instruments, because the court's supposed to utilize the contract in place to show you how to deal with the jurisdiction. So, but y'all keep listening to people who don't understand about all of these different laws. So let's go to the Ohio Constitution. I just showed you under United States Constitution how the straw man come in under this section right here. Let me share the screen again. Let me show y'all, because I'm trying not to make these videos too long, because people don't watch long videos. So I got to keep this fairly short because I got to leave in a few minutes. So let me show you the screen again. We're going to talk about where the straw man come from in the Constitution. So he come in under Article 1, Section 9, right? This is where it comes in at. The migration or importation of such person as any of the states now exists shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation. And I want you, this mean must not exceeding $10 for each person. So a tax must be imposed, a duty, a tax or a duty, either or both. So this is how they put the tax on you. So let's go to the Ohio Constitution. So this is the Ohio Constitution, and we're going to go to, this is the Ohio Constitution. Let's go to the militia. This is why the term is always under general. These are military terms, right? These are what they call general provisions. And I'll show you that in the Ohio Revised Code real quick. So this is all military in nature. We're going to go to the Ohio Revised Code real quick. And let's go here. They say general provisions. This is military. So let's go back to the Ohio Constitution and let's look at who shall perform military duties. All citizens, residents of the state, being 17 years of age and under the age of 67 years, shall be subject to, shall be, this is must be, subject to enroll and performance of military duty in such a manner not compatible with the Constitution and the laws of the United States, as may be prescribed by law. So, when you become a citizen or a resident of a state, right, either you're going to become a citizen of the United States and a resident, you have military duties. Once you turn 18, you have a military obligation. So You have what they call an allegiance. It falls under what they call allegiance law. So let's go to allegiance law. Let me break this down. I ain't even go to the government. Allegiance law. You see this? This is called allegiance law. Legal definition: allegiance is a citizen obligated of fidelity and obedience to the government or sovereign in return for the benefits of protection of the state. In other words, loyalty to the nation. So there's only two crimes. There's contempts and frauds. I didn't broke this down before. If you follow me on Facebook, if you're not a follower on Facebook, you should be understanding so I can show you how to deal with your cases. I can look at your court case and tell you what's wrong with your case and what you have to do and how things need to be done in correcting the record. So let's go to Ohio Revised Code. There's let's go here. Ohio Revised Code. Correction of defects in instruments or proceedings. Certain errors, defects, and omissions may be corrected. When an error, omission, or defect are described, can a revise occurs in an instrument or a proceeding which is required to be made, a party, person, body, corporate, a person intended undertaking to become a body corporate having a claim and any interest in correction, omission, defects may file a petition before the court. So some of the stuff they are presuming that they got jurisdiction. One of the things y'all not doing is looking at the examination of contracts to sever yourself from a contract because if it was unconscionable. Now this is the problem. If you start accepting benefits prior to, right, they're gonna say that it was binding. So what you have to do, right, give them back their instruments and sever the relationship by revoking an affidavit of revocation. The official cancellation of a decree, decision, or promise.
Revocation.
So you can revoke a affidavit of revocation. You can revoke everything with the United States. How can you do that? You can go to a public newspaper. Go to the court's newspaper and make your public announcement. So it's called Cincinnati uh, County Newspaper. I can't think of it. You can make your public announcement how they do it in the newspaper, but it's not none of that. It's the county's newspaper. That's where they do all the court cases. I can't think of it. What's the name of that? Why I can't think of it? Hamilton County Newspaper. It's gonna come up. What is it called? Oh, listen, they have a newspaper. They have a newspaper. I have to go back down. I have to remember. I don't know what it's called again. But find out your state newspaper, your county newspaper, and this is where all the courts is not put. I should have went to Google. Um, I know that I just can't think of it right now. I got a brain fog, so when I leave, it's gonna come up. But you got to make a public announcement. If you're trying to declare your nationality, the best way to do it is in the newspaper within the state. Um, the state is the one to attach. Like I told you this, and a lot of you guys, you need to understand this doctrine. Substance over form doctrine is typically a one-sided sword used by the IRS benefit. So they looking at how you are taking these instruments. I keep trying to tell you, if you're using EIN numbers, social security numbers, all of these different numbers, right? ITN numbers, as it relates to the jurisdiction, then you're still utilizing the benefits of the United States as it relates. You don't really have benefits, you have obligations and duties. That's why they made the laws, and now you are subjected to the jurisdiction, and this is how you get yourself in trouble. So a lot of you guys need to really, when it comes down to this litigation, this is why I say the master class is so important, that I can break this down for you to help you get out of your jurisdictional issues. We talking about child support, traffic. Most of y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a jewel, okay, in a traffic court case. How many of y'all ever asked to see the contract, your driver's license contract, as the prosecutor to produce it? They don't know how you signed the document. They just see you with that driver's license, but they don't know if you put a line veto, do certain things. They don't know anything as it relates to the driver's license contract. They don't know if you put them on notice and gave them 30 days on anything of negotiation, your contract, as it relates that you found errors and flaws in the contract. These contracts are negotiable instruments. They can be negotiated. You have a certain amount of time to negotiate these contracts. Can't nobody hold you into a stipulation of a contract. There is no contract that cannot be negotiated and cannot be renegotiated. So what you have to do, that's when you go to the court. Look at how you get the prosecutor do it all the time. They say, "Oh, we gonna drop the charges and plead to the lesser, and then you can, if you agree to this." They negotiate all the time with you. This is why I keep trying to tell people. Some people just need to do certain things, like stay. If you're a history teacher, stay teaching history. Leave the litigation up to the people that litigate. I have a lot of provision in understanding the litigation on what to do and how to cancel out these contracts. So I talk about this. Let me go to, this is why the master class is so important, right? So I haven't been sharing the screen, I don't think. Let me share the screen, right? Let me go back in, and I thought I was sharing the screen. So I talked about the laws, determination of foreign law, right? Under a judicial notice, right? Let's go to let me go to the Ohio Civil Rules of Procedure. Civil Rules of Procedure. We're gonna talk about certain topics real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So I want you to understand as it relates to this, right? You see this. It says general provisions. This is all military in nature. This is all military. It's all military. When you see that word general, it's military. The rules of evidence is based upon military tribunals. So understand what's going on with this stuff as it relates to this. Right? Privilege. The rule with respect to a privilege applies to all stages of the action, cases, and proceedings conduct under these rules. So I want you to understand as it relates to this rule, right? We dealing the rules of evidence are based upon facts, not truths. It's based upon facts. Judicial notice of adjudicated fact. What is an adjudicated fact? A fact that's already been predetermined, that's already determined by law. A contract, adjudicated fact. So a lot of people, when y'all doing y'all administrative process, you need to understand what you're doing, or it's not going to work. I don't. I can teach you how to get out of that process, how to understand how to get. This is why I say it's all about effective communication. It says kinds of facts. They deal in facts. So facts weigh heavier than law. Don't go in there arguing the merits. Argue what is factual in a in this under due process, on a substantive and procedural due process. These everything must meet constitutional muster, and you must understand we argue due process of law. But facts weigh heavier than law. They call this misappropriation of law and misappropriation of facts. Let's see. This appropriation of funds, of trade secrets, of assets, of facts, misappropriation of law. So we're gonna go here, right? In law, misappropriation is the unauthorized use of another's name, likeness, identity, property, discoveries, inventions without that person's permission, result in harm to that person. So you touching that money, it's not owned, it's owned by the bankers. The United States got control over it. Your intellectual property, as it's being registered to your nation under the laws of your nation, if they misappropriate how they identify you, that is a offense against the laws of nations. Let's go back to the Constitution. Y'all got to know this. Offenses against the laws of nations. I didn't make this up. This ain't me. Everything that I could do, I could show you, right? So let's go back because I got to get ready to leave. Let's look at substance over form doctrine. Is one side is substance over form. Doctrine is typically a one-sided sword used for the IRS benefit. This is what one of them jurisdictional prowess they're gonna hit you with. Let's go back. We already showed you the context of that. Let's go back over. So let's say if you're in Florida, right? This fraternity disestablishment. So what you got to understand, right? Your child has to be registered to your nation. So there's an error and defect in the instrument. You have to disestablish your relationship with these instruments. You have to go back and say, hey, there's an error, not just an error. That's I have to disestablish this record. This record is false. This is not a real record. I have my own nation. Here's the institution that we under outside of the jurisdiction, and this is what I can show y'all. This is why you need the master class. I told y'all we're dealing in property law. We're dealing in property law. Personal property can be divided in two categories: tangible and intangible. Tangible property includes items like animals, merchandise, jewelry, houses, and cars and stuff like that. Intangible property includes stuff like stocks, bonds, patents, and copyrights. This is what you're dealing with. The straw man is bonded. The straw man, it's a it's a bond, it's a patent. These are things they gave you. That's why they put your name in all caps. You accept it. Then it's an offer and acceptance, and then you start using it for your own personal benefit. Now you have what they call a certificate of indebtedness, in which they can utilize against you, because now the United States is a debtor institution. It owes a debt to a private banking institution. So anytime you establish yourself with the United States for any form of fashion, just know that you are in a debtor's position. I got to get up out of here, family. So I can break all of this stuff down. The masterclass we got coming. I got some other stuff for you, but I can show you how to deal with all of this stuff as it relates to a matter of law that nobody is trying to teach you and show you. People think it's all about being black. No, it's not. A tax is a servitude. It's an obligation. Listen to it says servitude. Just look at the second definition. A right by which something, such as a piece of land owned by a person, is subject to a specific use or enjoyment by another. So, they said they just gave you examples such as a piece of land, but we're talking about intellectual property, and they killing us, man, with these property rights. So, I gotta go. I was trying to figure out some stuff on YouTube. Y'all need to share my video, man. Get people to watch this. I can show you how to deal with all your cases. I can show you why would you disestablish? Because you can listen. We two grown people, right? We two grown people. The father you know who is the father? The state is acting as the father over the child. The woman is nothing but the custodial parent. She's not deemed as the natural mother. See, they call her the custodial parent. Do you know what the parent company is? Or she is a custodial parent. She's in custodialship. She just have the right of custody. The state has they have jurisdiction over the child. Do you understand what I'm saying? The state is acting as the natural father and have jurisdiction over establishment of paternity, because the state created the birth certificate and asserted the rights associated with that instrument. So why would you give them the jurisdiction over everything? Right? When you can create your own contract and you and the woman can specify whatever you want, which is a civil right, is protected by due process, where y'all can make all the arrangements. And this is where people go wrong in custody disputes. Because if you already had a contract when the baby is born outside of the jurisdiction of a birth certificate, and you can create your own instrumentality, and I can show you how to enforce and utilize these same instruments through understanding how to do everything under contract, and I can show you what to do. This is why you need a master class, and anybody violating that, acting under the color of law, is liable. So I gotta go, family. This is peace and love to everybody out there. I can just show you what to do and how to critically think so that you can control every aspect of your life. We are intelligent beings. Act like it. Act responsible for your own life. Don't drink and drive, family. Don't drink and drive. I don't condone any of that. So if you got a drink and driving case, don't call me. I don't want to help people doing all that drinking and driving, right? That's because people lose their lives behind that. But what I'm trying to tell you, I got stuff that I can show you, teach you, show you how to think, how to really preserve your state. We got something that we gonna be brewing up. It's almost done. It's almost complete. It's gonna be beautiful. So we, I made a conscious effort. I do not lie to people. I show you where I get my stuff, and tonight or tomorrow I'll come back on YouTube and show you more as extensive information and where I got it from. I didn't make up none of this. I'm not making this up. I'm not misinterpreting. You can make your own decision if I'm lying or not. But this is your boy. I'm out. Peace and love to the family. I'm gone.